Welcome, theology students and seekers of ancient wisdom, to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we are examining one of the most esoteric, visceral, and frankly unsettling eschatological models in all of ancient biblical literature. We're talking about the 7-minute afterlife transition, as described in the book of Enoch. Now, if you're used to those comforting, abstract ideas of the afterlife, the kind you find in children's books or standard modern theology, well, prepare to have those paradigms deeply challenged. Okay, let's dive into this.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today's academic analysis. We're going to follow a bit of an hourglass structure. We'll start broad with the historical context of the lost book of Enoch, narrow down into the visceral details of the 7-minute transition, watchers and the passage, the shape of the soul, and the conscious waiting place, and then zoom all the way back out to what this means for shaping your soul today.
So, starting off with Section 1, the lost book of Enoch. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the historical trajectory we've mapped out here. Before we get into this intense countdown, we really need to understand the text itself. Written roughly 2,300 years ago, this non-canonical text completely stretched the boundaries of traditional biblical literature. I mean, the early church fathers actually read it and debated it. Jude even referenced it directly. But then, somewhere between the 2nd and 4th centuries, it shifted out of favor. You might be wondering why. Well, Enoch's vision of the immediate afterlife was just too specific. It was too unsettling, and it really clashed with the evolving Orthodox doctrine of an instant divine judgment. So, it was suppressed. Pushed to the absolute margins, right up until the mid-20th century when, amazingly, the Dead Sea Scrolls dramatically preserved and validated his exact words.
To put that into perspective, let's objectively contrast Enoch's intense framework with the common theological views we hear today. Modern frameworks usually offer some kind of comfort, right? You have the idea of soul sleep, or maybe a peaceful merging into cosmic nothingness, or an instant, gavel-striking divine judgment. Enoch gives us literally none of that. Instead, he describes Sheol as a hyper-conscious waiting room where you arrive fully intact. You possess your complete identity and your memories immediately after death. There's no gap, there's no void.
Moving on to Section 2, the 7-minute transition. Let's plunge right into the narrative Enoch actually recorded. According to the text, this transition takes exactly 7 minutes for the dying soul to reach its first destination. The countdown begins at minute 6. This is when the physical filter of the body begins failing. Your perception of the room comes in fragments, a ceiling tile, a window, maybe the muffled voices of your weeping family. But here's the catch. The separation of soul and body isn't an instant snap. It's a very undeniable conscious process. In minute 6, you become aware of a dual perspective. You have one perspective inside the failing flesh and one just beyond it. By minute 5, the stark realization hits you. You aren't shutting down, you are waking up. Your identity, your memories, the exact person you were when no one was watching, it's all entirely, completely unbroken.
When Enoch walked through Sheol, he spoke to the souls waiting there, and this quote is what one of them told him. "I thought I would cease, but I only changed location." I mean, it's a chilling testament to the absolute shock of continuity. These souls expected darkness. They expected an end to it all. Instead, they got a clarity that was sharper than anything they had ever experienced while alive.
All right, Section 3, Watchers and the Passage. As we keep moving backward to minute 4 in this countdown, the dying soul starts to perceive a spiritual dimension that has actually been overlapping the physical room the entire time. Now, as theology students, we need to completely strip away our modern imagery here. Forget the winged, haloed guardian angels singing hymns. Enoch introduces us to beings known as the Watchers. These are silent observers. They are guides assigned to the threshold between life and death. They don't judge you, and they certainly don't comfort you. They simply ensure that the soul arrives exactly where its trajectory has already been heading.
And here is a deeply unsettling detail straight from the text. The Watcher doesn't arrive at the exact moment of your death. No, it becomes visible when death becomes inevitable. It was standing there when you made the very last real choice that sealed the trajectory of your character. The clock actually started ticking long before those final 7 minutes.
Which brings us to Section 4, the shape of the soul.
We are now entering minute 3 and minute 2 of the transition. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive contrast between the physical body and the unveiled soul beneath it. In life, our physical body acts as a mask, doesn't it? It dulls our spiritual perception and lets us hide the true nature of our character behind politeness and social performance. But in minute 2, that mask dissolves. The unveiled soul completely reveals the spiritual architecture that's been carved out by your lifelong choices. Some souls appear with these incredible canyons of light, built over a lifetime of forgiveness. Others, well, they appear folded inward, deformed, kind of like a clenched fist from a lifetime of greed and self-protection.
There's this profound dialogue that occurs between Enoch and the angel Raphael. Enoch asks him, when does the soul know where it belongs? And Raphael answers, it knows before it arrives. Death, at least in this ancient framework, doesn't magically transform you. It merely reveals you. It's the moment when all the stories you told yourself collapse and you finally see yourself exactly the way eternity sees you.
Next up, Section 5, the conscious waiting place.
We finally arrive at minute 1, and we get to explore the immense architectural structure of the underworld that Enoch observed hidden just beneath the surface of our world. For centuries, the concept of Sheol has been terribly mistranslated. We often think of it as a simple grave or some unconscious void. But, academically framing Enoch's vision, Sheol is a dimensional substrate. It's a real place with real structure. It contains these massive hollowed-out chambers carved into hard rock, where the dead wait in full consciousness. It is a hyper-aware holding state situated right between death and final judgment.
Enoch actually mapped out 4 distinct chambers of resonance. You have one for peace and stillness, one for heavy torment and unconfessed selfishness, one for souls demanding answers for profound injustice, and a 4th for suffocating, unresolved ambiguity. But here is the absolutely crucial part. God doesn't assign souls to these chambers at the moment of death. The souls are actually drawn to them by a kind of spiritual gravity. The shape of your soul magnetically resonates with one of these chambers and you naturally move toward it, almost like water finding its level.
To summarize the deep existential philosophy of this ancient vision, the soul doesn't go to a place, the soul is the place. You are already becoming the eternity you're going to inhabit. The chamber doesn't impose its state upon you, it's merely reflecting the state you built while you were breathing.
Finally, Section 6, Shaping Your Soul Today. Let's zoom out from the ancient, dusty scrolls and look at the immediate ethical implications for all of us today. So, the crucial point is this. The sorting doesn't happen after you die. That sorting began in the 10,000 small choices you made while living. Just as water carves stone, drop by drop, year by year, your daily choices are permanently forming the architecture of your soul. A truth you avoided, a convenience you prioritized, a grudge you nurtured for way too long. Those things leave permanent marks.
But the good news is, from this text we can derive actionable daily habits to help cultivate a more conscious, intentionally shaped soul. It's really about those micro-choices. It's choosing to forgive instead of holding on to grudges. It's offering that kindness you've been withholding, choosing truth over what's just convenient, doing the really hard work of letting go of bitterness, and prioritizing compassion over your own ego. These micro-choices aren't just good ethics or nice ideas. In Enoch's model, they are literally the very bricks building your eternal home.
The watcher is already observing, and the choices are entirely yours to make. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought to reflect on long after this explainer ends. What shape is your soul building right now?